I swear it moves. I promise it does. Okay. I really gave today a lot of thought. And what caused that was a conversation that I had with one of our productivity coaches yesterday, who was sharing with me some things that he feels are going really, really well. And then he was also sharing where he felt we had more opportunity to serve all of you at a higher level. And I battled back and forth between what I initially wanted to talk to you about and having a conversation with you on mastering the conversations of real estate. Now, the end result also is allowing more time for practice, PDR, practice, drill, rehearse, those conversations of real estate. One of the things he shared with me was back in the beginning, in the old days, when we started doing this 6 years ago, we had lots and lots of reps in practicing those scripts in order to master the conversations of real estate. And I realized we need to get back to that. Now, what I want to do today, though, is I just want to have a conversation with all of you, which is going to be kind of interesting because, Clarissa, I'm not sure what happened, but normally we have 8 to 10 people in the room, 15 sometimes, and today it's Clarissa and I. It looks like we have our normal Zoom group. Thank you for being so dependable and loyal and being here. And let's have a conversation on the basics behind mastering the conversations of real estate. Fair enough?
Yes.
All right. First of all, if you study scripts, you're attending a class or you're reading a book, you're going to hear these really long scripts. In my experience, when I first started with Keller Williams Realty and I was attending all of the classes, and even in going to Bold, I was seeing these scripts that were just really, really long. And I thought, number one, that's not me. I can't deliver a 3-paragraph script unless it's a long conversation, and yeah, I'll memorize that. But if we're talking a simple database call, I can't memorize a 3-paragraph script, nor would I want anybody to talk to me and deliver a 3-paragraph script. I need to make them shorter. And one of the ways that I did that is to rewrite them and bullet point them. In other words, hey, Clarissa, my name is John Dietz. I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams Realty. I noticed your home came off the market, and I was wondering if I brought you a full price offer, are you still interested in selling your home? Simple, right? Now, another expired phone call. Since I specialize in selling homes that should have sold but didn't, like yours, I was wondering if I could show you how I could get your home sold for more money in less time. Are you still interested in selling your home? In my experience, when a home doesn't sell that should have, like yours, it usually comes down to one of 3 reasons why the home didn't sell. And those reasons are price, presentation, or marketing. And just out of curiosity, which of those 3 do you believe is the reason your home didn't sell? All right, so I just gave you 1, 2, 3 expired conversations. Yes or yes?
Yes.
And they're simple. Yes?
Yes.
Which means you can learn them and you can practice, drill, and rehearse them until you've internalized them and they become part of you. Now, here's one of the mistakes that I see agents making. They feel like they need to be doing all the talking. And the opposite is actually true. Every single one of these questions is designed to create a conversation from the other person. When they're talking, let them talk. Even if the conversation totally takes you in a different direction, pay attention. to what they're saying, because they might be opening a door for you that you're not even seeing because you're not paying attention. And the reason you're not paying attention is because you're so busy thinking about what you're going to say next. If you focus on what they're saying and stop thinking about what you're going to say, you'll see more opportunity. So much of mastering the conversations of real estate is understanding the timing of communication. If you listen to me, I'm communicating with you in three ways. I'm communicating with you in the words that I use. I'm communicating with you non-verbal. In other words, you've seen this example before. The homeowner says, I feel like your commission is too high. Now, my response could be, really, why is that? Really, why is that? 3 words, really, why is that? Now, Tom Hopkins would call that a porcupine response. In other words, I'm basically feeding the objection back to the person who gave it to me. And now they have to defend the objection versus me defending my commission. Now, watch this. If the homeowner said, I feel like your commission's too high, and I said, really, why is that? It's the same 3 words, but it's a totally different conversation. The message you got is confrontational versus curiosity. So much of communication is paying attention to the pace at which you speak, slowing down, allowing the other person to understand what you're talking about, asking questions, getting them to speak, and also paying attention to how you communicate with tonality and nonverbals. I smile when I talk. Yes? Did I always? No. Matter of fact, when I first started as a team leader, I would host the team meeting, and then Alan, the operating principal, the OP for the Coral Springs Market Center, would give me his feedback at the end of the meeting, and I would hear over and over and over again, John, great job, but John, great job, but John, great job, except. And it was always, you need to smile. And my response was, what are you talking about? I'm smiling. And I wasn't. This is something that takes practice. I don't naturally do this. By the way, nobody does. Think about it. Even when we're telling a joke, typically somebody's telling you a joke with a straight face like this until they get to the punchline and then they laugh. Now, you want more people to like you, practice smiling when you talk. You want them to really like you, we're going to laugh every so often. It's communication, and it works. Okay, now let's go back to these little bullet point conversations. So I have 3 different conversations that I can have with an expired listing. For sale by owner, I notice your home is for sale. Just curious, if I had a full price offer on your home, would you want me to bring you the offer? Simple. You know, most homeowners are selling their home in order to save on the commission. Is that the reason you're selling your home by owner? You just asked a question. Slow down and let them talk. Yes, it's a yes/no question. However, it can lead to a longer answer. In other words, yeah, I'm trying to save on the commission, but I also just really have had some really lousy experiences working with real estate agents in the past. And listen to what they said. What would I say if I heard that? Tell me more. Tell me more. All of the agents are created equally. Tell me more. Tell me more. I've had some really bad experiences working with real estate agents in the past. You know, Shirley, I understand. Tell me more. Tell me more about what caused that experience to not be great. Listen to what they say. They're telling you what their hot buttons are. They're telling you, basically, they're saying, hey, John, here's how to close me. Listen to what they say. Now, would you agree that not all real estate agents are created equal? Is it possible that I might be different than the last agent you worked with? If you knew I was, would you be interested in seeing how I can get your home sold for more money in less time? So if you're selling your home by owner in order to save on the fee that you're trying to save is 3%, not 6%. Pause. Let that just sit there. Because to them, they may not have thought about it this way until you just said it. Matter of fact, they've already calculated that it's going to cost them $30,000 to sell that $500,000 home because they're assuming the commission is 6% to sell the $500,000 home. Yet, when you ask them, if I were to bring you a buyer as a for sale by owner, and that buyer made you a price, an offer of full price, what would you do? And they said, well, I'd sell my home. They're willing to work with a realtor. They're willing to pay a commission just only to the buyer's agent, not to the listing agent. So they're agreeable to 3%. So they're not trying to save 6%. They're actually trying to save 3%. So the script is, that makes sense. You're selling your home by owner in order to save on the fee. And the difference between selling your home by owner and working with a professional like me is 3%, not 6%. Wouldn't you agree? And change their base. Remember, people will never change their mind, but they'll make a new decision based on new information. Now, if the fee I'm trying to save is 3% or 3% of $500,000 and $15,000, Carissa, just out of curiosity, what's your holding cost? How much money does it cost you every month not to sell your home? And if your holding costs are $5,000, it would take just 3 months to lose the money that you're trying to save by selling your home by owner. Is this making sense? Okay. I'm out of paper. Just remember, they're all bullet points. If I'm making circle prospecting calls, guys, you complicate this. Quit doing that. It's a simple conversation. Hey, Megan, John Dietz, Keller Williams Realty. The reason for my call is we just sold a home in your neighborhood. Matter of fact, it sold for top dollar, and there are still buyers who are interested in great homes like yours. And I'm just curious, who do you know that might be thinking of selling their home now or in the next 6 months? Please keep it simple. Now, if you hear, I can't think of anybody, gratitude. Thank you for thinking of that. And before I let you go are magic words. They're magic words because they let the other party know the conversation is almost over. Until you say that, they're on the phone thinking, how long is this conversation going to be and how do I get rid of this person? So before I let you go, one more question. I like to keep my friends and family members updated on the market. That simply means that I send them interesting information on the real estate market once a month, and I call every 3 or 4 months just to check in. Would it be okay if I added you to that group? Now, if you're standing at their front door, take out your phone and pull out your app, pull out the Keller Williams Command app and show it to them. Hey, I've got this really cool app that'll allow you to stay up to date with everything that's going on in your neighborhood. It's a one-to-one experience and it's customizable, meaning you can customize it, Juanita. And all I need is a phone number in order for me to send this to you. What's a great number for me to send it to? Keep it simple. Now you've got a name and you've got a number and you've got their address. The only thing you don't have is what? An email address. I'd love to send you a link to my website. What would be a great email address for me to send that to? Keep it simple. The purpose of the conversation is to capture their information. Now it's a lead. The difference between just having a conversation with someone and having a lead is capturing their contact information. Then you want to connect. Connecting just means I'm connecting with you. I'm using Ford, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams to connect. I'm looking for commonality, okay? The next thing is I want to convert that conversation to an appointment. So it's capture, connect, convert. And if they're not ready, they go into nurture. And nurture simply means they're going to be in my database on the 36 touch. So I'm communicating with them systematically in order to create repeat and referral business and direct business, because 7% of my database is going to move every year. Mastering the conversations of real estate is a lot easier than you think it is. You create roadblocks that don't exist because you make it more complicated than it is. Now, do you have to have a role play partner in order to practice your scripts? Say no. You could practice your scripts as you're driving down the street. Look at the rear view mirror. Don't get in a wreck. Look in the rear view mirror and practice your scripts as you're driving down the road. Turn on your video camera on your phone at home, point it towards you, and practice giving listing presentations. Practice overcoming objections. The more time you spend on this, the better you're going to get. If you ever play golf with me, you're going to learn a couple things about me. And one of the things you're going to learn is I'm a very average golfer. Very average. Because I don't like going to the driving range. If I spent more time on the driving range, I would be a better golfer. Well, practicing the conversations of real estate in order to internalize them is your driving range. Here's the thing. No matter how good I get at golf, nobody's going to pay me to do it. Nobody. They might pay me to stay home. You master these conversations and you can build a really, really big business that allows you to make as much money as you possibly want to make in real estate. There is no lid. And if anybody came to me and they said, John, what's the one thing that I can do in order to get into production faster? My answer would be master the conversations of real estate. If anybody came to me and said, John, what's the one thing that I can do in order to sell more homes, take more listings? My answer would be master the conversations of real estate. It's always going to be this. If you're looking for something else, I'm not your guy. That would be somebody else. Anytime somebody's not hitting their goals, I'm going to ask them two questions. The first question is going to be, talk to me about your lead generation. In other words, tell me what your lead generation looks like. How many people are you talking to? How many hours a day are you in lead generation? What are you doing to find buyers and sellers? And if they're spending 3 to 4 hours a day in lead generation every day, and they're talking to 10, 15, 20 people a day, whatever their number is, they're knocking on doors, they're sending out personal notes, they're doing everything that defines lead generation. If they're doing all of that, then it's going to be, okay, let's talk about lead conversion. Because if you're not hitting your goals, it's either one thing or the other. It's one of two things. It's either lead generation or it's lead conversion. I learned many, many years ago from Gary Ubaldini, the answer to every single problem we're ever going to have is it's either going to be a lead generation conversation or it's going to be a lead conversion conversation. Now, lead conversion simply means if you're not converting more conversations to appointments, what could you do in order to get more appointments? If you're not converting those appointments to signed agreements, what could you do in order to get more signed agreements? Yeah, Jonathan. Right. Practice your conversations of real estate. PDR, practice, drill, rehearse until you've internalized these conversations. You go from Unconscious incompetence, which means you don't know what you don't know and you don't know that you don't know it. By the way, that makes you very dangerous. You move from unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence. At least at that point, now you know you don't know what you don't know, and you need somebody to teach you so that you know it. You move from conscious incompetence to conscious competence, where you start to get it. And ultimately, mastery is unconscious competence, where it just is inside you. Now, before you say, that's just not possible, I'm going to tell you there are a lot of areas in your life where you have mastered competence at a level where you are unconsciously competent. For every single one of you that have raised a child, there are a half a dozen things that children come to you with every day. Mommy, I've got this problem. Daddy, how do I do this? You know the answer to every single one of those. You've mastered it. You don't pay attention, but you've mastered it. Because you've done it over and over again, whether you wanted to or not, because your kids won't give up. You've done it over and over again. It's just one example. There's several. I said 2 + 2. Is there anybody in the room who actually needs time to figure that one out? Is there anybody on Zoom who actually needs time to figure that out? 2 + 2. Anybody? Conscious, unconscious competence. It lives inside of you. All right, ask me questions, talk to me. Megan.
So hopefully you can hear me.
Loud and clear.
Perfect. So as I actually had an epiphany last week during Bold, and I realized that my son, who is 1 year old, watches Moana and Encanto on repeat every single day of our lives. And I realized that I know every single word to the movie. So that dawned on me. I said, you know what? Why can't I internalize my scripts and objection handlers like I do these movies? Just listen to them on repeat over and over and over.
Good job, Megan. Very well done. Very, very well done. Not only Juanita says that's so true. Not only is it so true, but your son, Megan, I think you said, right? Take yourself off mute.
Yes.
Okay, what's his name?
MJ.
Endon?
MJ.
MJ?
MJ.
Oh, I love that. Like Michael Jordan. Okay. MJ, got it. Love it. MJ gets this. MJ would listen. MJ would have just spent the last 30 minutes listening to me going, duh, of course, this is, I get this. This is why MJ watches the same thing over and over and over again, because our children understand that repetition is the mother of learning. Yeah. Listen, my son is 25 years old. I still remember all of the songs from Barney when he was a year old and 2 years old. That was 23 years ago. I wish I could get them out of my head. And I still have, I love you, you love me. Oh yeah, it won't go away.
Wait, can I tell you real quick? My husband wears scrubs to work, right? And my daughter was a big Barney fan. And he came home one day with purple scrubs and she looked at him and said, Barney.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah. All right. Who's next? Ask me a question. Give me an aha. Vicky, talk to me.
My aha: hit goals, door knocking, focus, lead generate. If it's to be, it's up to me. What doesn't get scheduled doesn't get done. Time on task, put more time on lead generation. And fortune is in the follow-up. Nurture the relationships.
what she said. Write it down, write it down, write it down. Success comes with growth, only happens with resistance. Yes or yes? In other words, Vicky, is everything you just said, is it easy? No, it's not. It actually takes effort. You have to actually do the work in order to grow. Now, I can join a gym. I can drive by that gym every day. I can actually walk into the gym and look at the weights and walk around and then leave without picking up one weight. And I'm going to experience zero growth. I actually have to do the work. Jonathan.
Yeah, I was just thinking, with anything that you do, you really need to practice a long time. And I think one of the main differences in this is that your practice is with people. So every time you fail, it seems like you're somebody that's unprofessional, that can't do their job, and it might throw your confidence down. Whereas if you're learning to play an instrument or going to the gym, you're really only failing for yourself. So that's just one of the things that I think kind of throws me. But if I change that thinking towards, fail forward and keep learning and improving, just like with everything else that I've ever done, success will get there.
Yeah, so bold law, change the way you look at things you look at change. You're attached to the outcome. Rather than being attached to the outcome, page 71 of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, think progress. And even during those times where you're not hitting the mark, you're missing the mark. In other words, you're not succeeding, okay? You're getting better.
Yeah.
And look at this the same way a child would. When you were younger and you went outside to play ball, you threw the ball with a friend, you dropped it a whole lot of times. You missed the target you were throwing to many, many times. And yet you just kept doing it. It was fun. You were focused on the activity and you were having fun. You weren't focused on success and getting discouraged if you weren't successful.
Right.
And you got better. Okay, guys, I hope you got value today. I really do. To the 20 of you who are on Zoom, thank you. I appreciate you being here. For everyone who's not in the room today, who normally is, where the heck are you? Yeah, it's funny. I had this conversation with, it was Michael Trelongo I was talking to yesterday, and I had